A little Euros catch-up video. It's 10 minutes to 2 p.m. on, what day? Tuesday the 19th of June. So we are 10 minutes away from Croatia versus Albania. I mean, don't you love the Euros? Because when else do I get excited about Croatia versus Albania? But I'm just like, every game you got to watch these days. And I'm trying to have a bet on all of them quite successfully as well. Not successfully in terms of PL, but I'm roughly back to where I started. Such a strange graph. By the way, doesn't matter with how many games it's been. We'll add it up after a little bit larger sample size. But the first game, there was an Andy Robson, our nemesis on Twitter, this Fanwave Digital that are essentially a shill for Paddy Power Betfair Sportsbook. They were pushing Germany to have 4 or more shots on target and 2 or more goals in the game. And I think they pushed it to evens. And it was on the exchanges at 1.9, held up from fair odds of like 1.47, and so go to town on that. And it was the easiest bet that I ever won as well. I mean, 1.47s are going to come in more often than not, obviously. But was it in the first half? There was never any stress about it with how poor Scotland were in that game. So I was going to have a look at, not really, again, a little bit like Royal Ascot. These aren't tips. I'm not going to actually have this video up in time for the 2 p.m. kickoff, so it wouldn't matter. But it's more the direction that I'm looking at. And I'm looking at mainly very small amount of secondary goals markets in the games. So I'm looking at win both halves, half-time, full-time Asian handicaps, things like that. Team to score in both half. Actually, one of the markets that has jumped out quite successfully has been team to score the first goal in the match. And I forget that was it Italy versus Albania? Possibly? I think it was, and it was in the first minute. Now, these numbers are off the top of my head, so do forgive me. But it was something like 6.4 on the exchanges and 5 would have been the fair odds. And when looking at like Albania's over 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, they all added up. It's just the exchanges had the first goal of the match wrong. That goal came in the first minute. So that was good. It hasn't all been good, especially through Sunday and through Monday. I mean, Monday, Austria 0, France 1 with an own goal was just rough. Romania 3, Ukraine 0 was rough. If you were me and you were all on Ukraine things to happen, wasn't on Romania first goal. And then Belgium 0, Slovakia 1 was rough. If you were on Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku stuff to happen, as I was. So just a rough day all in all on Monday, nothing much going on. Totally recovered on Tuesday with Turkey 3, Georgia 1. In that, there was, so one of the places I'm looking at the secondary goals markets. I'm looking at enhanced specials for bias there. And in Turkey 3, Georgia 1, there was Bet365 pushing out Turkey to win and Turkey most shots on target in the game. Now, we can, it's quite easy to take those two component figures and multiply them together. That would give a pessimistic viewpoint, and I certainly wouldn't lay that under that number, because every goal is a shot on target. So there is some relationship there. What is the relationship? I don't know. We don't know. We've never really put that much attention into it. So it's something we've started doing because Kel Surprise, the bet's back today with Croatia win and Croatia most shots on target. So as a team, we have gone away and started doing work on that. We've historically looked at thousands and thousands of games, and then we've sort of categorized them into percentages, and we've sort of looked at how many times each of those teams, based on their win probability, has had the most shots on target in the game. And we found an R-squared fit of over 0.9 when trending that, and so we're going to have that up soon. Just now we don't have it, but what we can do is we can just take the two figures and multiply them. We know we're pessimistic. That would have given us 2.4 yesterday. 2.7 was on the exchange. It was probably like 2.2, so 2.7 was a big price, and it came in. And then in Portugal, Czech Republic, I was just on a bunch of player stats stuff. So I was on Thomas Souček. So I'm both backing and laying, and I'm kind of finding the value is 50-50. So I laid Thomas Souček over 1.5 tackles in the game. I'm looking at player stats at 110% EV or more. And I'm finding that 50% of the value that I'm finding is backs and 50% is lays. So there's no real pattern there. What I do know is that my player stats, or our player stats model, over 12,000 plus data points was accurate to within 0.1%. I'm very confident about the edges to be had on the exchange with this player stats model. So I am looking for 10% difference. I'm trying to lay, especially if it's 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. I'm trying to back, especially if it's odds against. And just looking at my bets from yesterday, it was one of those games where I've had bets where I've had a bunch of backs and a bunch of lays and they just all lost, and there's nothing but, there's quite a feeling like it's just such bad luck and you can't get anything right there. But yesterday, Patrick Schick to have over 0.5 shots on target. The way that I'm looking at this, I can't quite tell if I've backed or I've laid, so it's pointless talking about it. I can just tell you that that one came in. The one for Rafael Leao, oh okay, I can tell it's a lay now. Actually, I laid him at 1.7 to have over 0.5 shots on target. That one came. Always nice to see two of them substituted within 2 or 3 minutes of each other when you've laid them to get a shot on target and they haven't got one. It's like bang, one's in, bang, another substitute's in. That's good fun. So what am I looking at Croatia in 5 minutes? Croatia, Albania. And there was one last night. Let's blow the trumpets. They don't all come in like that. But I'm also finding a lot of value for first goal scorers in the lay, especially with popular guys, your Ronaldos and that. I'm not a huge fan of laying up at 5, 6, 7. I'm finding a lot of back value is at the very, very higher priced footballers, the defenders. So I'm dutching quite a lot of very high priced defenders. Or maybe there was a match, I had the entire back line of the match, the defensive line. Didn't win. Tell you what did win. Lucas Provod at 80. Ferrod's was 64 last night. Plenty of money available for that in Portugal versus Czech Republic. He did get the first goal. You're not often going to get your first goal scorer at 75 and 80. It is nice when you do. Did last night. In this game, again, I've got some big odds. No, not as big as last night, but I've dutched 4 player XG first goal scorers. Our edge here is we've just taken the XG of each player and divided it through the match XG and removed 0-0. It's not a super complicated equation, but I found value on Marcelo Brozovic at 28, at Jazir Asani at 26, at Nadim Bajrami at 25, and at Sutalo at 55. So that's roughly a 4, 8, 12, 14, 15% probability. So I've got myself on about a 5 to 1, 6 to 1 shot there. If any of those 4 go. There was an enhanced special, Luka Modric to get 2 fouls and to win 1 foul. Now, I know the odds to commit 2 fouls. I don't know the odds to win a foul. So I took that line from Sky Bet, which was 1.28, and I added 1.3 because I think sometimes they can just be ridiculous with how much margin they're applying. We're going to add in, by the way, fouls, how many fouls won. That is something we're sourcing and will be on the Bet Builder soon. By the way, there's going to be a rejig if you're looking in the Bet Builder for where player stats are. Somebody couldn't find it the other day. We've just added and added over time, so we're just going to change it around and categorize things by sport. So if it looks different, I'm telling you now. Anytime goal scorers, we found some pretty good value there. Again, longer price players, but I'm on Luka Modric. That will count for a shot on target for him. The enhanced special was fouls, not shots on target, so ignore that. Mateo Kovacic and Joško Gvardiol at 11 and 14. Again, we've just looked at what the markets are saying, and then we've looked at the goals in the game, and we've normalised, we've forced the starting 20 to equal the team XG. So we found some value in AGS there. We were profitable on the Premier League last year. I'm hoping we're going to be profitable on the Euros. To have a shot on target, I have a back and a couple of lays, and fortunately they're tying up with my goal scorers. So Gvardiol, if he gets a goal, well, he's also going to get a shot on target. Is 3.85 for any time goal scorer is value there. The screen just jumped, which is really not very kind whilst I'm talking. Bruno Petkovic, I've laid him at 1.71, and Ivan Perisic, I've laid him at 2.16 to get a shot on target. And player to be carded, which has not been so kind so far in this tournament for me, but Josip Juranovic at 10.5 was like 10.58. I mean, that was a decent old bet. So he's not going to get it 90% of the time, but it's a decent value bet. How are my Euro Golden Boots going? I've got to do this off the top of my head. De Bruyne, nil point. Mitrovic, none. Van Dijk, none. Chiesi, none. Griezmann, none. Ronaldo, none. Oyarzabal, none. Kai Havertz did get one against Scotland. And given that Mbappe has got a broken nose and is now missing his next game, and Kane and Ronaldo didn't get a goal in the first round of matches, what does that put us at for top goal scorer in the tournament? We pop over to Bet365, we pop over to the Euros, we suddenly realise that we've no idea how this website works, and it looks like Harry Kane is still favourite, 7.5. Kylian Mbappe, despite the fact he's got none, is second favourite at 9-1, even though he's going to miss the second game. Goodness. And Kai Havertz, can't even see him. I mean, for the love of God, he's got a goal and nobody else has. Oh yeah, third favourite at 11-1. So yeah, the 26 I got pre-tournament. I mean, given the fact that every other bet I'm on for Golden Boot, our top goal scorer, is bad, but that one's good, I'm holding on to Kai Havertz. Right. That's my summary after round one of matches of where I've been looking. It's mostly been player stats, it's been enhanced specials, a little bit of secondary goals markets. I haven't got any football coupons just now. There's just not a lot going on there. I have had a couple of double delight hat-tricks heavens. I've been on Lukaku, I have been on Kai Havertz. None have come in, so I don't know if any value players have come in for double delight hat-trick heaven. I'll have to look at the archives, but again, it's very early. Fred seems to be going double delight hat-trick heaven, not in every game, but on most games, so good to see that. Doesn't necessarily translate into value, but when we do see value, it's often on the shorter price players than it is on the longer. Okay, cheers.